And we're going to continue on here. We have a Katie Tobin. Katie, how are you?
Great, thanks. I'm excited to be here.
Excellent, excellent. Well, I'm just going to give the floor to you, if that's all right.
Yeah, that sounds wonderful. Hi, everyone. My name is Katie, and I'm the director of the Lateral Innovation Division at the Office of the Director of National Intelligence. So, what does that mean? It means that I'm here to accelerate and amplify innovation across the entire intelligence community. And I'm going to tell you a story about how I got here and why design thinking has been so incredibly useful for the work that I've been doing all this time. Our story starts about 6 years ago, and I had been a frustrated creative in government. I had so many ideas of great things that we could do to change things and make things better for people, and it just wasn't working. The ideas weren't resonating, they weren't hitting the mark, and I couldn't figure out why. So a colleague and I went to a design thinking class, and the first assignment, the instructor said, hi, I'm Bob, and your first task is you're going to make me a wallet. Are there any questions? And I'm like, I got this. This is going to be so much fun. I cannot wait. I'm going to design the best wallet. And so I did. It had these incredible features and it opened up in this new way. And it was just amazing. And so the time ran out, and the instructor had some of us brief out our wonderful designs, and we were all kind of high-fiving each other. And then he said, well, you all failed. And we were like, wait, what? No, we designed these amazing wallets. And he said, well, you all failed because the assignment was to design me a wallet. And no one asked me any questions. You don't know me. You don't know what I need from a wallet. And I thought, oh my God, you're right. This is what has been going on for all these years. And this is why it wasn't resonating. I was designing things that I thought were awesome, but not really thinking about who I was designing for and who this project was for. And so that's just, mind blowing. A light went off, and I thought, okay, I'm paying attention. There's something to this design thinking. So my colleague and I went to the class. We got all these skills. We got really excited. We came back to work and briefed what we learned to our manager. And being a good manager, she said, oh, this is great. I want you guys to apply this right away. We're like, yep, got it. She said, great, we're doing an offsite in about a week. So can you guys lead the offsite? Record scratch. And we thought, well, wait a minute. We're doing design thinking, but an offsite? We're not building a tool. How does this work? And so we thought, you know what? Let's just give it a go. So I'm here to talk about how you can use these skills, these design thinking techniques, for something kind of different, something that we all encounter at least once per year, and that is a team offsite. So how can you design think your way to a better offsite? So here's the scene, right? We had one day to try to get all of this done. And the team was people who had never done design thinking before, aside from my colleague and me who had taken the training. And we had about one day of experience going into it. So it just goes to show you do not need to be a ringer to make this work. And our team had analysts, we had data scientists, we had programmers, we had program managers. So not the type of group that thinks, yeah, Post-it notes are my jam. But you know what? It was still really awesome. So what we did is we gave everyone some homework, and we said, your homework is to do some interviews. And so we had people talk to, so that'll be next slide, talk to some of our customers. So the people who were actually benefiting, we hoped, from the work that we were doing. And so we had people meet with a couple of folks, learn about how are they using our products or not, what they thought was working well or not, and their ideas for what we can do better, and just to be in listening mode. And so then after we had all done some interviews to kick off our offsite, we then did, next slide, Rose, Thorn, Bud, which I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with. And for those of you who are not, this is a great way to get out all of the information from your ethnographic research and your basically your research phase. So what were the things that people said you're doing great at? Those go on pink Post-its. Where are the areas where they said, you know what, this just isn't doing it for me? Those go on the blue. And then for the things that they said had potential, those go on green. And then you put all those ideas on the board and cluster them based on topic. And you can really quickly see where are the bright spots. Those are mostly pink, maybe a little bit of green, and where are the pain points? And that's really where you want to focus, because that's where you know you can make a big impact. So we had this visually arrayed, and we're like, okay, now we know what problems we really want to solve. And so then that took us to the creative matrix. So how do you solve all this? And so we put our top problems that we wanted to solve, the things from the green-blue clusters, and then and those are along the top, and then the side were different ways we can solve it. So maybe we can use technology, maybe we can build a new tool, improve our current tools, etc. Maybe we can host an event. Maybe we can make partnerships, make some friends, have them bring us to a better solution. Or maybe it's just a matter of communication. So for each of those areas of intersection, each person had to come up with at least one idea. And so that was a lot of ideas, as you can imagine. And some of the ideas were really, really creative and awesome and workable. And some of them were just the thing that gets us to the next step. Like I always tell people, if you're having a brain freeze, just write puppies and move on, because puppies are often the answer, right? And so from all of these great ideas, we picked a couple that really resonated and then created concept posters, which is the next slide. So here's a concept poster about a concept poster. Very meta, right? And so this is a way to make an idea a little bit more real. So you give it a cool title, maybe a tagline, show why it's awesome, and maybe an image. You can do a representation of what it would look like, make it a little bit more concrete, maybe a timeline of your major steps so people kind of get an idea of how you're going to get to this wonderful place, and then some thoughts about what you would need to actually make it happen. So resources, endorsements, magic, etc. And so this is a way to take that Post-it note and make it a little bit more real without spending tons and tons of time and money on it before you know if it's worthwhile. And so then we all pitched our ideas and then did a dot vote exercise, which is the next slide. And so that's where we each had a vote and we could show where our energies were. So in this case, people like the title, the third reason, whatever that is, really, really hitting it home for people. And unsurprisingly, people love the picture of the puppy with a heart for a nose. Yeah, that's usually how it goes. So the reason why we went all through all of these things and in one day is rather than spending a day just thinking in more abstract strategic terms, we were able to really hone in on what our customers wanted us to do, where we could make a difference, how we could make a difference, and then playing out with some ideas and seeing where is that great trade-off between awesome impact, amazing revolutionary idea, and are we actually able to get it done? And so we walked away with some concrete, that those concept posters made it back to our office. And, by the end of the day, we were, next slide, high-fiving all over the place because it was so great. So I'll leave you with the end of those slides there. But, to recap, the reason why design thinking worked so well for our offsite is there were techniques that you didn't have to be an expert to do. Everyone went into it having never done those things before, aside from my colleague and I, and yet they're all able to follow along. It was very participatory. There's no way you can sit out and just kind of hang back when everyone is writing Post-it notes. They were also really good techniques because they catered to both introverts and extroverts. Especially on our team, we had a lot of introverts. And so the worst thing we could have possibly done would be like, hey guys, let's shout out a bunch of ideas. Like, I know a lot of you in the audience are just kind of cringing right now when I say that. And the extroverts like me are like on it. And so this was a really good way to balance it out and also to make it more democratic, because on our team, we had people from various seniority levels, managers, non-managers, contractors, staffers, etc. And so by using the Post-it notes and the design thinking techniques, we were really able to democratize, and everyone's ideas were equally valid because once they were on the board, they became the team's ideas. And then again, we kept the users and our customers front and center. You know, we started with them, really empathized with them, learned about their viewpoints on how well we were doing, and then we were able to walk away with some hard artifacts of things that we could do that would help them. We put them up in our office and used those for the next few months as we were working on the projects. And some of the ideas, once they came back to the office and we shared them with customers or with other people, they maybe pivoted a little bit, or we realized that they wouldn't work as well. A few ideas we wound up combining, but the thread was there and the enthusiasm remained really high as a result of the offsite. And it just gave us that great guiding light for the next few months as we were working through it. So, so that's my favorite thing about design thinking is actually you don't have to use it for necessarily innovative projects, right? It is not necessarily to build a better mousetrap or software tool or experience. You can use these techniques for something that that any team will be doing and for much better results. So with that, I look forward to your questions. There is a question about, I see lots of medals back there. Oh, good. Yeah. I'm glad you're paying attention to my background. Yes. So one thing I neglected to mention in my introduction is that in addition to being a dedicated public servant, I'm also an avid triathlete. And so I've competed around the world as part of Team USA and including at the World Championships for a few years running. So yes, those are medals from my alter ego as a multi-sport athlete. Thank you.